Mariah says in her own words why she stopped singing the way that she did in her prime. Let's check.
With a lot of the critics who said early on I was showy in terms of using that aspect of my voice a lot and over singing. I don't have I don't disagree.
Like in what record would you say that you did that?
I would say the second album. I felt like I got to prove something, but you know what? I was really young when I did those records, and I was really like David, and David loved that part of my voice. David Cole was really like sing your highest note. Like he was very encouraging me to do that, and I think that's because he was a musician and he just couldn't fathom the actual note, like that it was so high, and he liked that. And a lot of people like that aspect. It's something that not everybody can do.
Right.
And so,
has that talent ever scared you? Like the fact that you can produce such great sound, has that ever been? But you, at the same time, it's like you have this force within you, but like you were a young girl trying to make your way through the industry, trying to write your own stuff.
Right.
Dang. Yeah, that's tough. Miley Cyrus, whatever you think of her, talks about the same thing on the Joe Rogan podcast. And again, whatever you think of him, child labor laws don't apply to the entertainment industry, and that's terrifying.
Very difficult thing to do, yet at the same time you have this great power. Is there ever any kind of...
Well, I think in the very, very beginning, like I saw this thing I did the other day for the NBA playoffs, the first time I was ever on TV, and I sang America the Beautiful, and at the end I go like, shiny sea. Real high note that I can't do right now because I've had no sleep, but I went for it, and I went for it more than I go for it on live TV these days, because you can't control it. Now people know me, but then I was like, hey, no one knows who I am, and I felt like I was rooting for myself, like watching, like, wow, like I'm proud of her, like she just really went for this thing, you know what I mean? I was going for it. I was trying to establish myself as a singer, you know?
That's a difficult... I actually have a video on the channel about this exact topic. Ultimately, range and register is a little bit of a trap, especially if that's what you're trying to get to be known for, because now you can't not do it. Mariah's been almost forced to sing her old tunes in the same register for years, and people who don't understand that the voice changes give a lot of criticism. They say, well, she can't sing like she used to. Wrong. Well, okay, partly right, but it's because voices grow. She had children. She is older. These vocal folds keep growing, and so it very much changes what she can and cannot do. But because she built her career off being the singer, she has to navigate this difficulty. I mean, congratulations on her success. She's earned it, and she does these pieces in their original key because of the fans, and then the fans get all, critical. So
time you weren't known for singing live, you weren't even known for doing that many live television appearances. But I think with the Butterfly album, it's like every time you turn on the TV, you were there singing, and you were really going for it, and obviously times your voice in terms of just the sheer vocals was stronger than others, as things will fluctuate.
Right.
But you always stood there and really just stayed there and tried to sell the song.
Right.
Do you think that kind of doing all those live dates and sort of dealing with your voice when it's not technically perfect, do you think that's helped you as a singer?
I haven't done that many. And the other thing is, when you're dealing with, first of all, my instrument is it's not standard. Even like, let's say there's a girl who's a great belter, and she can belt and do all things in a high register and has even a deep register. The whisper register of my voice, like that I use on Bliss, is something that is so fragile and unique and bizarre. Like sometimes if I have a cold and I have no voice whatsoever, I can do high notes and do anything in that register, but speak not at all.
Okay.
Sometimes when my airy voice is real clear, like I was explaining to Joe tonight, like I can't do tonight, that's not as good.
You said you were told to restrain your voice in the studio, then it seems like you were also kind of told to hold back and to restrain yourself in other ways too. Does that strike you as kind of
That's really interesting. And like validating that she's got a freaky instrument, so I shouldn't feel bad that I can't even do 1/100th of what she can do. But that is extremely challenging. I can see where she would have a lot of pressure on her. This is also something I think not a lot of people talk about, is that, the voice is extremely temperamental. I mean, extremely temperamental. So like she said here, if she's sick, she's got to go up on stage and sing anyway, because Mariah Carey isn't just Mariah Carey, right? She's a business. She has sound people, she has stage people, she has costume people, and all those people need to get a paycheck, otherwise Little Billy doesn't get to eat. Little Billy likes that bougie spinach, none of that frozen stuff, okay?
Ironic. Right?
It's quite parallel, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, but we easily live through it all. But yeah, I mean, I feel like getting back to the live performance on TV stuff, that's not an easy thing to do. It's much harder than singing in my own concert live.
Yeah.
Because when you're on TV, there are the variables of this is why my instrument is very sensitive. Mm-hmm. The smoke they use to pick up the lights, there has to be smoke. So it's either oil-based, chemical-based, whatever. And I am totally affected by, like, someone had a cigarette in the other room. I already feel it. Like.
But do you think that sometimes, I mean, because, a lot of the greatest singers, American pop singers, have in some ways become better song stylists as they've started to lose some of the...
I just want to rewind a little bit. I had no idea that TV production requires smoke. In theater, because I've done a little bit more theater, powdering your face, doing like little lines to get the depth. I mean, if you looked at it in a mirror, it would look horrendous. But on a stage, it reads totally different, and it really, really adds to the visuals, and people can really make out your face. So needing smoke, and the fact that it's made from oil and chemicals, I mean, dang. I wonder anybody performs on TV. It's crazy.
Some of their just natural range. I mean, by being able to sell a song without just kind of hitting the notes and everything, but really bringing it home emotionally, that's actually helped their lyricism in some ways.
I think...
you think about great, like maybe like a Billie Holiday, or even like an Aretha Franklin. I mean, everybody has gone through. I think Whitney's a better singer now than she ever was, even though she doesn't have she doesn't have that kind of voice that she had on the first album or something.
I think that on this album, it's the closest to how my voice was on the first album in terms of range.
Huh. It's really interesting. You can learn a lot from just, listening to someone talk who's so good. So I mean, wow, I learned a lot here, and I really should look into more Mariah interviews.